Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. $71 million WR absolutely intends to seek trade to Steelers, report. The Pittsburgh Steelers will likely resume their search for a WR2 this offseason. There's one potential target already emerging on the trade market, San Francisco 49ers wideout Deeboo Samuel. SI on Steelers, Noah Strackbine reported Samuel is interested in engaging the Steelers in trade talks. According to a source from another NFL team, Samuel and his agent Tory Dandy are absolutely going to attempt to engage with the Steelers, making them an immediate candidate if they share the same interest, Strackbine wrote on February 10. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported on February 9 that the 49ers granted Samuel permission to seek a trade partner this offseason. This permission is the first step in fulfilling the receiver's trade request that he made at the end of the 2024 regular season. The 29-year-old wideout is entering a contract season in 2025. On his current 3-year, $71.55 million deal, Samuel will count as about a $15.80 cap hit for the 2025 campaign. What Deeboo Samuel could bring to Steelers' offense. Samuel has experienced highs and lows during his NFL career. In 2021, he was one of the top NFL weapons at any offensive position. In addition to 1,405 receiving yards, Samuel led the NFL with an 18.2 yards per catch average. He also rushed for 365 yards and 8 touchdowns that season. But that's the only season Samuel has eclipsed the 1,000-yard receiving mark. In 2023, he had 1,117 yards from scrimmage, as he rebounded from a disappointing 2022 season. During 2023, Samuel averaged 14.9 yards per catch and scored 12 total touchdowns, including 5 on the ground. This past season, Samuel had 51 catches, 670 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. He averaged 13.1 yards per catch. On the ground, he rushed for 136 yards and 1 score. Assuming the Steelers keep George Pickens for 2025, Samuel could slide into the WR2 role in Pittsburgh's offense. Pickens would remain the Steelers' top deep threat with Samuel offering yards after catch potential. During his All-Pro season, Samuel was second in the NFL in yards after catch. He was ranked in the top 12 among all pass catchers in the category during 2022 and 2023 as well. The Steelers never really filled their WR2 role during 2024. They drafted Roman Wilson in the 3rd round last spring, but he only dressed for 1 game because of injuries. At the NFL trade deadline, the Steelers acquired veteran Mike Williams. But he made little impact outside of the game-winning catch in his team debut. Calvin Austin III finished second among Pittsburgh wide receivers with 36 catches and 548 receiving yards last year. How would the Steelers handle 2 WRs in contract years? While Samuel could fit nicely and fill a significant hole in the Pittsburgh offense, the Steelers shouldn't overpay for the receiver because of his age. Giving up too much draft capital is the first way the Steelers could overpay for Samuel. It's also quite possible for Samuel to agree to a trade to Pittsburgh. The Steelers will have to offer him a contract extension. That could be complicated for the Steelers since Pickens also needs a new deal. Pickens' rookie contract expires after the 2025 season. Pickens has been a loose cannon during his Steelers tenure. Although he strongly suggested on social media this offseason that he will not be traded this offseason, it's worth wondering how he will react if the Steelers acquire a receiver and pay him instead. Theoretically, the Steelers could pay both Samuel and Pickens. But in the past, Pittsburgh has only had one high-priced receiver on its roster at one time. The Steelers could break that trend. But that doesn't mean they will be ready to offer Pickens his new deal before the 2025 season, which, again, could cause drama during the fall. Pittsburgh needs to address wide receiver this offseason. But Pickens' future must be taken under consideration with any potential move the team makes. Steelers legend sounds off on quarterback situation. The Pittsburgh Steelers, for lack of a better word, are stuck. Stuck in a cycle of fringe playoff seasons, with quarterback play just capable enough to win games. Stuck with a coaching staff that's unwilling to sacrifice today's core for tomorrow's season. Stuck out of range for a franchise-changing passer with few avenues to finding one. It's an unenviable spot, regardless of how long head coach Mike Tomlin's non-losing season streak continues. That same competency, according to a Pittsburgh icon, is holding the organization back. Steelers legend Jerome Bettis revealed a potential plan at quarterback to help navigate out of football's version of the friend zone. They're a victim of their own success because he's never had a losing season, Bettis said, via Sports Lens DJ Siddiqui. They've never been able to draft in the top 5 or top 10 where you gotta go get a quarterback. So, they'd been picking 17th, 18th, 22nd, 24th. You're not gonna get the quarterback that you need at that point. It's 100% the quarterback scenario because you haven't been able to go get that guy. Barring a trade, Pittsburgh will pick 21st in April's NFL draft. That's expected to be far later than Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. The consensus first-round passers in the 2025 class are expected to fall, leaving the Steelers in a spot awfully similar to 2022. There, they took Kenny Pickett as the first quarterback off the board in an abhorrent class of signal callers. It's more than possible that Ward and Sanders are viewed as non-elite prospects by the time the draft rolls around. But if Pittsburgh is in love with a passer, and the teams picking first, namely the Tennessee Titans and Cleveland Browns, are willing to trade down, Bettis would support a blockbuster deal. You have to be willing to invest, says Bettis. If one of these guys you believe is the guy, then you gotta go out. If it takes 3 first-round picks, you gotta give them 3 first-round picks. But you've gotta go out and get the guy you like, Bettis continues to say. I don't know who that guy is if it's any of these quarterbacks. I don't know if you mortgage your future for any of these guys. I don't know. But if you do like one of these guys, you gotta go all in. Because what they're doing right now will not work. It's proven that it doesn't work. They have to recommit themselves to finding that quarterback. Related, Rooney reveals Steelers' plan at quarterback in 2024. The Steelers rolled out the combination of Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, buy-low veterans looking for a career revival. Both exceeded expectations, but neither established themselves as a clear long-term starter. Either one could reasonably find a new home in free agency. If nothing else, this offseason in particular could be an inflection point. But it's an opportunity the Steelers would have to choose to take, and one the front office may be unwilling to accept. I just think they need a quarterback. I think that's been the issue that's been holding them up is they don't have the quarterback play that they need to have to be a special football team. I think because of that, they haven't been able to be a championship-caliber team. They are a playoff-caliber team, but not a championship-caliber team. Steelers' mock trade proposals for Deeboo Samuel will make fans cringe. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that Deeboo Samuel would like a change of scenery. Samuel told Schefter, "It was a hard conversation to have with Kyle because of the relationship that we have," Samuel told ESPN's Adam Schefter. "But I have to do what's best. I'm more than thankful for the Niners giving me the opportunity of a lifetime, but now I think we should find another team." Another veteran receiver with a big name that follows him means another trade rumor going to the Steelers. There has yet to be any leaked trade chatter like Pittsburgh had with the 49ers last offseason revolving around Brandon Ayuk. Expect that to change over the coming weeks as clubs try to solve their cap situation going into free agency. Right now, San Francisco is trying to manage their cap issues. They aren't hurting for money at this juncture, but Brock Purdy needs an extension, which will require money to be cleared. Samuel hasn't been the same player in recent years for the 49ers. Pittsburgh would be wise to place some calls, but they can't afford a monster trade. Some mock trade proposals could scare off the fans if they got leaked. Steelers could offer a trade offer that would provide mixed reactions when you try to figure out a potential deal. It is hard to ignore what some clubs paid at the trade deadline. The Buffalo Bills acquired Amari Cooper on an expiring contract for a 2025 third-round pick and a 2026 seventh-round selection. That was around the deadline, but it's hard to ignore that San Francisco could want a similar return. Samuel is under contract for this upcoming season before hitting free agency. In an ideal world, the Steelers would see how the star receiver plays this upcoming campaign before expressing interest in a contract extension. After all, the sixth-year player never was a speedster, so he could slow down more with age. That's another red flag for handing out a third-round pick, even with salary retention. Pittsburgh could meet the 49ers in the middle for Deeboo Samuel. San Francisco's current situation doesn't give them much leverage in trade talks. They failed to do much with Ayuk last offseason, so it is hard to believe a player requesting a deal on an expiring contract after the upcoming season would give them much say. Omar should be placing calls and offering little for the veteran receiver. A pick swap in the middle rounds of the upcoming draft and their earliest selection out of their 3 picks in the 7th round doesn't seem far-fetched. Samuel is coming off a down year. Samuel just turned 29 last month, so he remains in his prime, but there aren't too many years left. With his need for a new contract, the Steelers should be lowballing the 49ers. And are you a fan? What do you think of the Deeboo Samuel situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.